So here's a quick look at the interior. We've got this logo here, we've got stalks, which is nice to see your gear selectors on the right hand side, push down for reverse, the 360 camera pops up, and then you push P for park. Really cool way to do it and just kind of leave more room in the centre. This is top of the range, so we do have ventilated seats as well as heated seats, 2-stage heated steering wheel, which is always nice. I like the touch capacitor. Look at the way the wee blue waves go beside the steering wheel when you turn it on and off. Fan speed. We do have the two screens connected together to make it look like one, which is quite nice. And we've got a huge sunroof, which, oh, that's opening it. Come on, there we go. I'm just gonna tap that and then you can see. There we go. Voila, so that's pretty nice. And then we've got N on the seats themselves, red stitching in places, a little bit of storage inside there. Glove box, a wee shelf for items, phone chargers, floating central console, all round electric windows, folding mirrors. It's a pretty well equipped car, and there is adjustment for the seat, which is electronic. I'm 5'11", plenty of headroom, shoulder room, knee room's good as well. We do have reach and rake adjustment, which is welcomed, and we're getting about 400 miles of range, and we're not even on a full petrol tank here. This is the hybrid one, which we'll touch on in a second, but just wanted to show you the car quickly before we get out on the road. There's a heads-up display as well, you can see the directions popping up there. So we've just left the car park, and this is going to be definitely first impressions.
In 320 yards, leave the roundabout at the first exit.
Thank you. This is going to be my first drive of the Hyundai Tucson hybrid, because this is an impromptu video. I was kindly given the keys for this car and I thought, well, why not showcase it and show it with you all. This is a Hyundai press car, and yeah, it would be silly not to bring you on the journey with me while we're using this car. So I literally have the car for 20 minutes. So this is a really good fun thing that they're giving you
the first exit.
They're giving you a Hyundai before the event.
Now leave the roundabout
to drive to the event. So I think that's a really
in a quarter mile, leave the roundabout at the second exit.
Really neat feature. Now I'm going to see if I can just turn that sat nav off.
Guidance is at this volume.
There we go. And then we'll turn that down for the purpose of today's video recording, so you're not getting interrupted every 2 minutes. Now, it is 8:30 in the morning and we've actually got patches of blue skies. Maybe that's the benefit of being in England instead of Scotland during winter. Who knows? But the hybrid powertrain, this car is available as a plug-in hybrid, a regular hybrid that we see here today, and a regular combustion vehicle as well. So there's something for everybody really in the lineup. This is quite a nice trim of vehicle. You know, this one's the top of the range N-Line S with the heated seats, heated steering wheel. It's got the ventilated seats, which I like in that little touchscreen there. Big glass roof. It feels really well kitted out and pretty much has everything you would want in this particular package. I like the fact we've got physical like buttons and knobs to touch and things to physically press, like if you're wearing gloves, you've not got touch capacitor things going everywhere. There's like a little bit of a panel in the centre here for your climate control, which I'm not sure if that would work with gloves or not. We need to work that out, but at least the steering wheel's got physical buttons, which I have been in cars. Sometimes that is an issue. But it does come with a whole host of safety features, like your blind spot, your rear cross traffic alert, all the speed warnings and things like that, which some people love, some people hate, but it is mandated by the UK and European Union, so that is why we have them in modern vehicles. Now, what's it like to drive? Well, the hybridisation is making it feel pretty smoothing out some of the rough spots. Yes, there's a little bit of an engine noise when you're putting the foot down. Up front, I can hear it. It's not the most isolated like engine note, but the hybridisation has certainly kind of refined the Hyundai power plant from the cabin. You know, just when you're moving off, it adds that little bit of kind of suppleness into the manoeuvre, is probably the best way to say. Now, the ride is great, it's rather comfortable, you'd expect from a crossover. Being the N-Line, I wasn't sure if it was going to be quite a harsh suspension. You know, sometimes you get like an M Sport BMW and it can be a little bit more firm than a regular like X-Line. This, however, feels pretty agile, tossable, and comfortable. I'm enjoying that, so that's a thumbs up for first impressions in terms of that. My heads-up display in this particular car is very clear, wide, and it's giving me the speed of the kind of roads around me, and it's telling me my sat nav on at the moment. I've got like the roundabouts popping up and the lanes for the lane departure popping up as well. So it's rather clever how much information is displayed there. It's a lot more than some of the other vehicles, and it's wide. It's I'm not mentioning at the beginning, but I wasn't expecting it to be as wide as that in terms of coverage, but it's nice and clear, so that's a plus as well. Foot down 50. Now this car does feel, I'm not sure about the hybrid one because I literally got the keys to it, so I don't know too much. This is the first drive, but I'll put it in overlay and edit. This car does feel front wheel drive biased, if not actual front wheel drive, because I can feel the wheels at the front like kind of pulling along in this greasy road. Steering's light and what you kind of expect. We do have a drive mode button in the centre here. Oh, the flooding is crazy up ahead actually. Oh, this big Discovery just drove right through those puddles. So we do have Eco and Sports mode, so let's pop it into Eco mode and then Sports. Okay, we're getting red gauges for the Sports mode. Yeah, I quite like that. Let's pop it into Eco mode. Okay, the steering wheel instantly feels a little bit lighter. I can feel like I can do that with like 2 fingers instead of the Sports mode there had a little bit more going on with the weight and resistance through it, and a little bit more throttle response. That's what that seems to do. We've got an auto hold button as well as hill descent, physical button for your parking sensor defeat, which is handy sometimes depending where you're in tight spaces, and then your cameras, which are 360 in this car. This particular one being the top of the range trim, which is rather nice. I do like the screens. It feels modern. It feels well built as well. Like, it feels premium. It feels a little bit of a notch above what we've seen in some of the Chinese competitors recently that have came into the UK. My only criticism on the interior is the black gloss plastic. A lot of other manufacturers are moving away from that, especially on touch points, and we've got black gloss plastic on where the window switches are, and in the centre bit where the buttons are for your drive mode and things. So I feel like you're going to be touching that a lot, do you know, and it's going to look dirty, and potentially this is the kind of car you're maybe not going to be cleaning after every trip. It could be your pride and joy, and I could be wrong, but I'm just worried like if this was like brushed metal effect or something, it might hide some of the greasy marks. But material quality is great and feels fine. It's just the use of black gloss plastic there on a 2026 model. We do have 2 cup holders in the centre, as well as wireless phone charger, which my phone's on. It's got a little green indicator pulsing up, which is quite nice as well to kind of indicate how your charger's going. My lane departure warning today seems to be behaving itself, which is also welcome. There's a button in the steering wheel to override it, and we've got cruise control with radar, which I'll set that at 47 just to give us a taste of that while we're driving. We've got 7 miles to my journey, so let's see how we get on driving along here. I had a quick look in the back. There is heated seats back there as well as blinds, and it does look spacious enough for 2 adults at least, if not 3. There is Chelsea Isofix points, and in the centre there is your room for your armrest to come down. So amenities back there are not short. I do like the fact you've got blinds and heated seats. If you've got adults or children or teenagers, depending who you're carrying, you could have the blinds up if they maybe don't want the sunlight in their face, and then equally if you're getting cold on a winter's day, you can put the heated seats on back there and be nice and toasty. So that is a really nice touch. Boot space is decent as well. I remember my dad had one of these Tucsons back in 2018, like it was brown, it was a petrol manual, but the boot space was a talking point because it was boxy, it was generous, a decent size, and this is carrying that over. When I opened that boot, I was like, Yeah, that's a good size. I've got my suitcase in there, which admittedly is not the largest because it's one for overhead luggage, but we do have the suitcase in there, which is decent. Now, pricing for this car does vary depending on trim and kind of equipment you go for. A base petrol model is going to set you around the low £30,000 range, and then you're going to be over £40,000 for a top of the range hybrid, like kind of one you see here today. So there really is something in that budget for everybody, depending on what you're wanting. But yeah, from where I'm sitting, it feels nice, feels well built. I like the stitching, what Hyundai have done with the little N logos in places, and it certainly feels a nice place to be. And it does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on the screen as well, which I won't be pairing my phone to it today, but I do know the software does enable that, so you do have that capability if you're looking for that. And we are moving out there, like rather eager to go, and the heated steering wheel is, oh, it's lovely today. We're getting to a 30 miles per hour zone, slowing down. We're going to say town life in England. Let's see what's happening. Well, we're getting use of the agility today. Kids are around, so we want to make sure we're slow and careful, and parents crossing. But this is a nice dimension and size of SUV. It's not very compact, but it's compact enough for UK roads, and it feels light enough to be manoeuvrable, which is a big plus, especially in situations like this. You don't want to be in a town and struggling to get yourself out of harm's way or avoiding pedestrians. So I will make a note when you're accelerating from 0 to 20, like so you do hear the engine in the background. It wasn't really interfering with the cabin when you're travelling at speed, so that's just a lot worthwhile mention there. But really impressed with the ride. Like, the roads are not the smoothest here, and my short drive so far today has been decent with the ride. And just, I keep going on about the heated steering wheel, but I love a good heated steering wheel, and this being 2-stage as well is better than just one. So for that alone, I would probably be tempted, if you're test driving one of these, make sure the heated steering wheel's on, because it's nice and toasty. Obviously you can turn it down to 1 if you're not wanting it, but I've got it on 2-stage for heated seats and 2-stage for the heated steering wheel. Right, we're getting a 50 mile per hour zone again. 3, 2 and 1. Woo! We do have auto wipers as well on the right hand side there. I don't know what else to chat about in this video. I'm just enjoying the drive and the scenery, and where I don't think I've been in this part of the world before, and near Banbury in Oxfordshire, so near the M40 actually as well. But yeah, this has been an enjoyable experience this morning. We're probably going to end the video there, so I'll say thanks very much for watching if you made it this far. Comment banana if you have made it this far in the video. I'll be curious how many of you have made it this far. So that's banana. Leave that in the comment section. And yeah, I will see you all next video. Comment your thoughts on the Hyundai Tucson N-Line S. And a special thanks to Hyundai UK for sorting me out with this press car for today's drive. I will see you all next video, and make sure to like, subscribe and share with your friends. Ciao.